We are in the Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre in Barrie, Ontario. Once a small town on beautiful Kempenfeld Bay, Barrie has grown into a city of more than 130,000, and they expect 200,000 people here in a decade and a half. Now, for all of the opportunity that brings, it also brings immense challenges, and that is why we are here tonight. To hear how Barrie is coping with these changes, planning for this growth, all the while maintaining and preserving its function and quality of life for its citizens. Tonight is the first of two programs we are doing here in Barrie, and even if you weren't able to be here with us in person, you can still be part of this broadcast. We are live streaming it on our website. That's theagenda.tvo.org. Our producers are also hosting a Twitter chat, so you can send us your thoughts about the subject of the night via Twitter and use the hashtag TVO on the road. We're going to bring somebody else onto our program right now, and no disrespect intended to any of the four of you, but when you were all introduced at the VIP reception before our taping, there was no reaction to your names. I'm sorry to report. There was, however, sustained applause for our next guest. We are going to introduce you to Willard Kinzie. He was the last mayor of the town of Barrie. He was the first mayor of the city of Barrie. Mr. Kinzie was the mayor from 1957 through 1961. And first of all, a great pleasure to meet you. You're 95 years old now, right?
Yes.
Congratulations, fantastic. I'm going to ask you the same first question I asked all of them, and that is your relationship with Barrie. When did it start?
Well, let's start when I moved here in 1947.
From where?
From Guelph, and purchasing a dairy. We had 6 milk routes, door to door, mostly horse and wagon. And I met the people of Barrie because I was a spare person. In other words, somebody took holidays, somebody was sick, I would do their milk route. And this acquainted me with the people of Barrie, their families, and their concerns.
So you came, and have you ever left since?
No.
You've lived here ever since?
Yes.
All right, in which case you're in some ways uniquely positioned to tell us what you think about the huge rate of growth in traffic, people, businesses, everything around here. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm a growth person. So I love growth. I love growth in business, love growth in industry, love growth in families growing up, and I love to see the growth in Barrie. And Barrie is just a wonderful place. I came from the Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph area. We had to drive hours to get to some place where there was water. Here you could walk down the street and you could see water. Just a wonderful place, a beautiful place to raise a family and to enjoy life to its fullest.
So you like the changes that have happened here?
I think most of the changes have been very good.
You said most.
There's some things, sure, you can criticize some things, but on the whole, I think we have developed very well.
Okay, fair point. On the whole, you like what's happening, but a couple of things that are, a couple of bees in your bonnet, like what?
Well, certainly in the south end, we didn't plan far enough for the population, and if you drive on Mapleview, you will easily see that. Sometimes we're looking at what we have, and we try to satisfy what we have, instead of taking a look ahead 25, 50 years, and what will it be? And that's a message that I've tried to get through to councils when they've asked me to speak, is look ahead, have a vision of what can take place and will take place in the future.
Were you the guy who was championing Barrie going from town to city?
Yes.
Why
yes.
did you think that was important to do?
Well, it was important for many reasons. I was Deputy Reeve and Reeve of Barrie, which meant you sat on the county council. We had 52 members. I think the third largest assembly of political affairs in Canada at the time. And it just seemed to me much of it was unnecessary government. To issue a welfare check in Barrie, we had to go through our own sources, the County of Simcoe, the Province of Ontario, all extra government, extra cost. And here, by one stroke of becoming a city, we could eliminate 1/3 of all these procedures and have a much greater efficiency at less cost.
Now, when you ran for re-election and won, do you remember the percentage of the vote that you got? The reason I ask is because I think when Jeff Lehman ran the last time, did you get 96% of the vote?
Oh, you're too kind. 92.
92% of the vote. I mean, it's Saddam Hussein-like numbers the guy's getting here. Anyway.
I was nowhere near that.
Nowhere near that. It was a genuine democracy then. Well, let's, I'm teasing.
I had a radio host call me Kim Jeff Un. I think it was a compliment.
Well, the other big difference here is he runs once and he gets a 4-year term. Your terms back then were single years, weren't they?
Yes, and we had to act a lot faster than what they do today. The mayor today, Jeff Lehman, and he's doing a wonderful job. But he's got 4 years' time to fulfill his promise. I used to have 1 year.
Yeah. So you had to act fast.
That's right.
Yeah. Can we have a hand for Mr. Kinzie, please? It's great to see you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for coming in tonight. That's outstanding. That's outstanding.